Hey guys, welcome to episode 10 of my Agrarian Skies Let's Play series. Yeah, so hey, that node capturing went pretty awesome, huh? Look at that. All the delicious nodes up there for me to, I don't know, drain and tap and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, whatever, that's over. Anyway, last episode I said I'd talk a little bit about, this little contrivance that I've been working on across the way over here. Yes, those are beacons, and yes, that is a tier 5 blood altar, right? So, yeah, cool, pretty spiffy. That is, well, it does a lot of things, right? So obviously it's got a tier 5 blood altar on it. It also is got a well of suffering. It's got a XP farm at the bottom and an Essentia distillery too as well. I'm going to try to keep this episode kind of short, but there's a lot to go over. So why don't we start with the origin, if you will, of the mobs. So we'll fly up and then we'll fly down over here. Whoa! Alright, cool. Get my sword out in case there's slimes about. This is in a slime chunk, right? And it's also in a magical biome. So that means that I will get slime spawning down here, as well as pecks and wisps and the magical type thingies too as well, which is important because I needed a steady supply of mana beans and ethereal essences. Okay, I think I've mostly cleared this out now. Let me turn the teleposer off over here. So as you can see, I've got a whole bunch of crazy stuff set up over here. I'll try to go over this really quickly. Break a hole in here. I've turned this off. So these are teleposers. Everybody knows teleposers, right? That's from Blood Magic. It's a teleportation block that swaps whatever's on top of it with whatever's on top of the destination block. Inside each one is this reinforced teleportation focus, which is a 5x5 square. So I've got a 15x15 room right here that fills up with mobs. Got these redstone lamps in here so I can keep the lights on when I... Holy moly, that is a big slime. Come on, man, I'm trying to shoot a video. Can't you just, leave me alone or something? You don't have to come over here and bug me with your sliminess. Okay, that's enough. Get out of my way. So yeah, underneath I've got this all wired with red net cable, and you'll see I'm using the orange channel for the lights and the white channel for the teleposers. That's because I've got two separate ways of controlling the system over here. So I've got this right here is the... Go away. This over here is the orange ones, right, for the lights. It turns the lights on and off. So since this is a slime chunk, if I've got the lights turned on, only slimes will spawn in here. So there's really no way of completely turning this off, but that's probably okay. When the lights are off, then I can get, normal mobs plus pecks and wisps, because this is in a magical biome as well as a slime chunk. Neat! Right here is a PRC that controls the teleposers. So there's a lever on top as well. It's a pretty complicated setup. I think it's several pages. Let's go to the first page. First page, wave square timer, 20 ticks, right? Pretty output to variable 1. Right here, that's a counter. Variable 1 counts up to 5, right? So, and then puts the output to variable 2. Right, so the wave square timer output increments the counter right here. It goes up to 5, and it then switches over, resets basically. Third page, and 2 input. So and basically is this like a logical and state. So if 2 and 3 are both the same, then output to variable 4. So what's 3, you might ask? Well, let's go look. IO top U. IO up, white channel goes to variable 3. That's this lever right here. So if I turn that right there, it's on. So that means that now this stage on page 3 right here is going to output a true value or value to 4. And then 4, whenever that's true, does a one-shot pulse down on the white channel, which is the teleposers. So if I stand on one of these, you'll see, hey, cool, huh? And what will happen in a second is hopefully I will get teleported back in a few seconds. Yep, there we go. Whoa, I'm all the way down here. Gotta get out of here before I get dragged again. And so you saw that timer in action too as well. And the reason why it does that is because I wanted to make sure that, well, a couple of things really. I wanted to be a little bit nicer on my lag on my world, and also I noticed that with the 1 second, I was using a 1 second redstone clock before, just a simple redstone clock block. I noticed that clock block, nice. I noticed that mobs were occasionally teleporting back into the chamber instead of getting murdered in my tower, and that was just really annoying. So I wanted enough time for the systems in there to start devouring them, so they didn't get teleported back into here. Anyway, let's that's on right now, and we'll turn that back on so that you can see what happens up here in the teleposition chamber. So let's go and look at that. Alright. See mobs falling down here already. So that works pretty fast, doesn't it? Pretty neat. Let's go all the way up here. So as you can see, that's my teleposer right there. There's an Enderman on it right now. He's taking damage from the Well of Suffering that's actually above him and below my blood altar. Lots of mobs do get ground up on the Invar spikes, and the it's kind of designed up here to trap certain mobs. So spiders and Endermen get trapped, and wisps get trapped as well. And they generally feed my blood altar up there, which is great. Down here we've got skeletons and zombies and creepers that fall down over here, and they get murderized by the golems, which then goes into a vacuum hopper there in the middle of the floor. Obviously got liquid XP, great for all my enchanting needs. And then the drops are coming down here to these little Jugons, who are busily distilling stuff and putting it into void jars. So it's pretty much full all the time. I got a couple of stops in here on the item ducts. So the first one up here is for ethereal essences. I need those for crafting, and they're just kind of generally useful too, and I can distill them for arm. And well as mana beans up here, and not just mana beans, but you'll see also I get skulls, and I think knowledge fragments are also in this one too as well. And then all the slime balls are currently going over to Sparrow right here, which has got a void upgrade in it. So yeah, you know, it's I just didn't want to distill the slime. There's not really much use for limus, I think. I can always distill some if I need it. Maybe I'll automate that later or something. Who knows? But I didn't want it to just fill up with slime balls, because as you'll see, man, you get a lot of slime balls already. Especially if I just turn the slime thing, if I turn the light on downstairs, it'll be all slimes, just nonstop. So that's kind of like the basic system up here. And let's go look at what I did up here with the altar and stuff. So sometimes if I want to make sure I'm generating max LP, all I got to do is I hit this switch right here, which pushes out those sticky pistons, right? Which that's a Tinker's Construct clear glass in there, so you can't really see it. But what will happen is now these guys will just get stuck up here. Now look, there's a wisp right there, and you see the wisp is actually taking damage from the Well of Suffering, which is great, so he will die eventually. Generally speaking, the wisps don't ever make it down to the second level. Let's go. Leave that. We'll let these guys fall through. It's fine. Watch the golems up here murderize them. Yeah, occasionally creeper will explode, but it's not so bad. The golems can take it. They've all got the regen fez and armor plating and obviously visors and stuff like that, so they're pretty tough. These guys right there, funny. So funny looking. And they're pretty tough too. They got a lot of HP. But anyway, I tried using a witch water drop in here before to get wither skeletons, and the problem with that is the charge creepers. While the normal creepers won't really hurt the golems, the charge creepers are just they're just bloody insane. They do way too much damage. Let's see, up here is obviously that's the teleposition focus. Stop hitting me. I'll go outside and do it. It's a lot safer to do this when you're when it's turned off. I wanted to show you the internal chamber, but I'll do it later. So this is my blood altar. As you can see up here, I've got a tier 5 blood altar with full beacons. I'm currently in the process of transmuting a block of quartz into another star to make another beacon. I want to put another beacon over here in my base. That's going to be pretty cool. I'll make a tier 4 beacon and give myself like speed and regen. But yeah, so these guys aren't actually turned on, although I could probably turn them on. The altar itself is comprised primarily of runes of sacrifice and dislocation runes, because what you'll see outside here is that there is a flyover to my other tower, so we can see from the distance. That is not redstone bricks or that is all open block tanks full of blood, so it's holding a couple million LP worth of blood inside those open block tanks. And I think I'm transferring something around 560 LP per tick or something like that, or no, not that much. But essentially, I can transfer enough LP, about 1,000 LP per second, maybe a little bit over 1,000 LP per second, into and out of this altar if I need to. Out of is actually what's kind of really important, because this guy will, with all these runes of sacrifice, when he's turned on and the mobs are trapped upstairs, he will be generating thousands of points of LP per second. So it's really important to push that blood out. Now, what I want to use that blood for later is I'm going to have it going through tesseracts to other altars, probably, which will feed transmutations and things like that over there too as well. But I thought it was a good idea to set this up. Never hurts to have a few million points of extra blood laying around, I guess. And I think that's mostly it. A couple of things that I have noticed is like speed runes, right? I got 5. Boy, that's good. That like doubles. At 5, all you need is 5, and that doubles the speed of any kind of transmutation. Like usually this thing like takes an hour to complete the nether quartz to nether star, but with 5 speed runes it takes like half an hour. So that's really awesome. The other thing is these things right here are not additive. They appear to be multiplicative. So rather than increasing by 20%, like I've only got 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 on that side, so that's 14, 28, right? Which would be 480% increase off of 1, so it should only be so you can only move 1 LP per tick, so I should only be able to move like 4.8 LP per tick or something like that, but I'm moving way more than that. So these appear to be multiplicative instead of additive, or I'm getting a lot more benefit from them than you initially expect from on the tin. The other thing that is interesting, I guess, is the teleposers themselves. Like now, there's several different teleposition focuses, and the one that I'm using, that reinforced focus, as a 5x5 area. I don't know if you guys clued into what I did there, but basically I've got 9 teleposers down there, all pointing to this one right here. So you can do interesting things like that. Like you don't have to have a 1 for 1 teleposer ratio. In fact, this actually makes a really great way to collect a bunch of drops or a bunch of mobs and push them into one area, like I'm doing right now. So I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. Anyway, this was my second attempt, I think, at doing a mob farm, and from the technology standpoint, I don't know, I didn't really use much. I'm using these right here, these MFR conveyor belts, which just require a little bit of plastic, and then the most expensive part of this entire setup is actually the altar up there. Everything else is just pretty much like iron and stone bricks, mostly, and a little bit of wood. So this is not really a crazy setup here. You could probably replicate this in your own world pretty cheaply, and almost from the start of the game. I mean, if you're willing to work on your altar over time, I think, which is oh hey wisps, look at that. People are going to start shooting me and stuff now. Yeah, I've got void hoppers up here too as well, because yeah, I want all the drops. All the drops are mine. Oh well. Anyway, but if you're willing to do that, spend a little bit of time, you can build something like this in your, really early on in your own world. I think. Obviously, you got to get fairly advanced with blood magic and Thaumcraft, I think, in order to make it worthwhile. Ooh, he poisoned my little golem. How sad. And cast weakness on him too as well. I never saw those guys do that before. That's pretty cool. But yeah, so I'm pretty happy with this. Now, the only thing that I'm not happy with is like this Essentia distillation under here. Like, I got to do a better job. This is just basically just a stopgap kind of situation for now, for me to get some Essentia. I mean, I do come in here every now and then and like drain a jar if I need it for my other base, but I got to put magic mirrors in here. But before I go and I invest all that time in doing that, look, this is already full, right? So this is already full. These guys can't keep up. They literally cannot keep up with the amount of stuff that is coming through over here. I mean, that's how much is coming through this mob farm. I've got 3 alchemical furnaces and 3 alchemy golems going at the same time, and they're just like they're just too slow. I mean, they might be able to do it faster if they weren't stupid and they just grabbed like one. They always seem to grab like whatever's in the top one. So maybe if I just like, get rid of that top alembic or something, then I don't know what they'll do. But they only seem to carry like one or two essentia at a time, instead of like grabbing like all 8 of that and then dumping that out, and then all 8 of that and dumping that out, and whatever the highest one is, they always seem to go with the lowest one, which is stupid part of their AI. I think it should be the opposite. But anyway, so this is what I'm not happy with, which means I'm probably going to go and build a new distillery. I'm going to build like a completely separate distillery building, and I'm probably going to end up feeding it with like tesseracts, I think, because that's just going to be the easiest way for me to get all my farm inputs into one central area. So there'll be a lot more fun with golems, but in order to do that, I got to do a couple of other things too as well. So let's think about this. I'll clear some space down here, as you can see, for the automated distillery, and I've installed arcane lamps up there in the ceiling. I had them down here, but I had to move them up a floor because they were lighting up my mob trap under here, which was not good. It was not good at all. But yeah, so what I need to do is I need an automated distillery. I need probably some power. I'm going to need some juice. So I'm going to need to build some engines for like more steam dynamos or something, I think, probably for some processing stuff. Also going to need to have an alumentium farm somewhere. I'm going to have to like feed these alchemical furnaces alumentium, because I'm using the lava crystals right now in them, and it's just too bloody slow. Alumentium makes it at least like 2 or 3 times faster. So it's really important to use that if I want to keep on top of the essentia draining. And yeah, and that's pretty much it. I think I need to do a little bit of work on this, and maybe next episode I'll start off with what would be cool? What would be a cool thing to do? Let me think about this. Yeah, I'll do the automated alumentium farm next episode, right? So I've already kind of put a space aside for it over here. These cats, man, these ocelots, they're so funny. I should tame some. But yeah, so I'm gonna put a tree farm over here. I've moved my show you guys. Yep, so you can see I've moved my ritual of the green grove over here to this side of the platform, give it a little bit more space, and I'll do some trees over here. I don't know which one I'll do. If I'll do great wood or I'll do oak. I'll probably do oak so I can work on that 100,000 oak quest that I need, and a little bit more. And then I'll set up an automated system here to create alumentium. And then once that's going, then I'll work on putting together the furnaces and distillation stuff down there. So we'll have some way to probably use a tesseract, I'd imagine, to take the alumentium that's generated over here and then put it in a chest over there, and we'll have some golems feeding it to furnaces, and it'll be pretty cool. I'll set up something really neat looking. Anyway, I'm going to go work on a couple of things, and yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope I give you some good ideas on like how to do your own mob farms using this stuff. Like, I've never seen anybody use teleposers like that, which I think is pretty funny, actually, and it's a pretty cool idea. Very flexible device, and so far bug free. I haven't really had any problems with it, so quite happy. And it's a definite substitute for an auto spawner, because obviously you don't have to feed it mob essence or anything like that, and you get a wide variety of mobs. So if you just want a grinder or something like that, then it's a good alternative, and you got some pretty cool things that you can do with turning it on and turning it off and keeping it away from your base, and yeah, that's pretty awesome. Anyway, I'm gonna go out and do some of this stuff, and I will talk to you guys later. If you've liked this video, please leave a like, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing, and yep, see ya.